Hey, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you another episode of Taz Teaches Java. In our last episode, I think we kind of restructured things. We set up the players, so now we have two players that can be created, a Tazman and a Derby Fam. We also have it so that you can actually enter in the player names, but we don't want to have to do that every single time while we're testing. We just want it to actually do it. So we do have that all set up. The other thing we did is we now have it so that it deals out the cards evenly. It deals one to one player, one to the other player, one to the first, one to the second. So what we're going to want now is probably some ways to maybe check the cards, look at the cards that the player has and distinguish. Let's see, probably distinguish if player one is the winner of the round or not the winner of the round, and if player one is the winner or player two is the winner, or if it's a tie. And then if it's a tie, we have to do a war, right? So we actually have to deal one card face down out on the pile, and then one card face up for both of them at the same time. So no. Let's go ahead and work on that and see how far we can get. So what we're going to want to do, let's just call this maybe check cards, because we want to check our cards to see who won or if there is a winner or whatever. So let's do PBL public, and we're not going to return anything, and I really misspelled void. And do CHECKCARDS, and I don't think we need to be handed anything, and there we go. So first thing we need to do is we have player one and player two set up in here, so we're actually generating those players. So we want to, maybe just to make it a little easier, is we will let's see, we'll want to check if we want, let me just think for a second. We might need something in players. Let's go check. Something like, we need something to tell us which whether we're player one or player two. So we need maybe like a pointer to say it's player one's turn, player two's turn. Yeah, I think so. Let's just go ahead and add that right here. Let's just do a private. Actually, no, we can make this public. This can actually be static because you don't need this pointer for each player. It's just one pointer to say which one it is. So we're actually going to make it a public static int, and maybe call it card pointer, to let us know where we are pointing at our card, because we're not actually putting cards down. We're just changing where we're looking at in the array. So if the player one and player two have the same value on their card, then what we want to do is skip a card and then look at the third card for both of them. Hopefully that makes sense. So this card pointer is going to keep track, because if we have multiple wars, we're going to have to keep going down, and there's a possibility, that like 3 wars in a row means that there's going to be the main card 2, 4, like 7 cards that the player's going to win, and we have to kind of keep track of all that. So we're going to have card pointer for the beginning will always point to element 0. I think that makes sense. And because this is public, we don't need any special getters and setters for it. And now we should be able to check, because basically we always want to look at the very top card unless the card pointer has changed, right? So let's go ahead in here, and we want to check our card pointer, have our condition here be for our card pointer. The other thing I think I want to do is, just to make it a little simpler so we don't have so much to type, is maybe create, should we do it up here maybe? I think, didn't we create, hold on just a second, let me think. Yeah, I think what we want to do is maybe do int for keeping the value of the card. And we'll do P1 comma P2. So this will be placeholders for the actual value of the card. And the reason we want this is just so we don't have to type out so much stuff every time. Because right now, if you want to check the value of player 1's card, it would be players bracket 0 bracket dot get value weight P, and then parentheses to call that function. So I think, didn't we call it get weight? No, maybe just get weight. But it's in the players. Did we? I don't remember if I think we might have to create another thing in here too. All right, well, let's just get going on this. So first thing we want to do is we want to check a condition. We're going to say if playe player dot card pointer. So there's our card pointer, and you'll notice we don't have to use players or anything, because when it's static, it doesn't have an instance of it. It doesn't have an object. So we're just accessing the static variable card pointer, and we're checking it if it's equal to 0. Because if it's 0, that means we're just doing the top card. It doesn't matter. And so then we want to say P1 dot, or P1 not dot, equals PLAYERS power, I can never spell that, PL players bracket 0 dot, and I don't know, we don't actually have a get value in here yet, do we? I don't think we do. So maybe what we need to do is, do we need to set up, so in the player, we have our hand. We could do it this way, I think. So let's go to players, and I might want to do, in this game, we don't care about the value of the whatchamacallit, the suit. So I don't know, do we need to worry about that? So we're going to want to do two things. So let's see, we're going to want, there's an add a card, there's our thing. Let's do our getter and setter like right here. Okay, so we're going to have it set up, because we'll also want to get a value. Like I said, if we're in a war, it's not going to be value 0. So we want 2 of these. They'll be they'll be overloaded basically, because we'll have the get weight. And I think the reason I was saying P is because this is the player. We already have a get card in our deck, don't we? Or in our cards, get value. Value weight, I think it's in deck. So just to distinguish that, I think I'm going to stick a P at the very end. So we're going to do PUB public, public, and we're going to return a value. So we're going to do public, let's return an integer, and called get value. And it's not just the value of the card, it's the weight, WEIGHT. And then it doesn't need anything passed into it. And there we go. So now we're just going to return RET you are in, and we're going to return. So we need to do hand, right? Whoops, hand. And here we're going to use our get. Do we have a get? We're going to want some to get. There's our get right there. So we want get. Oh, because that's our thing. So we're going to want to get. I think we want to get the hand size so we know how big the hand is, because we have to get the very last one, remember? So we need to say get hand size. So hand dot size, and then because this will give us, like if we have 52 cards, this will return 52, where in fact there's only 51 elements. Well, there's up to element 51 is actually value 52, remember? Because it starts at 0. So we'll have to subtract 1. This is going to grab the very last card. And let's see, then we want to say get our value weight. Hopefully that makes sense. The second one we're going to do is pretty much the exact same. So we're just going to copy that, come here, hit paste. We'll get an error for a minute because this one is going to accept an integer of which card, the location. LOC. We'll just have it called loc or something. And then this one will want to be, do I really need the location? We're actually going to use card pointer to tell us where it is. So the location isn't kind of going to be a dummy, I think. Maybe there's a better way to do this. I'm not sure. So we would want to say card pointer. So we're subtracting the 1, right? But we're going to add that 1 to our card pointer. Card pointer. So basically, it doesn't matter what this location is. We don't really care. We just care that it's getting some kind of value sent into it. Kind of, I don't know, kind of hooky, but I guess we're gonna go with it just for now anyway. So now that we have that, we can say players dot, and we can say get value weight, just like that. And then we want to do the same thing with player 2. Equals PLA YRS players 1, which is actually player 2. This is also another thing to help it be less confusing, because player 0 is player 1 is player 2. So this helps get rid of that confusing piece. So get value weight. And I think, oh, actually, yeah. So then what we'll do, you know what? Actually, let's just use loc here instead. Because what we can do is, just so it looks a little cleaner and more logical is what it's doing, we'll just pass card pointer here into it. So this will be oh, whoops, not here. This is on the second part. So let's go ahead and say ELSE. So if it's not a value 0, then what we want to do is this exact same thing, except we want to pass in this. So this is doing the exact same thing as putting card pointer right there. This is just going to pass in what the value of card pointer is. So this will give us the card that we're looking at. And I think that's what we want there. The next thing we'll want to do is we will want to actually check who's winning. So let's go ahead and say if, and we'll say P1. So you'll notice this is much easier to type than all that players bracket 0 bracket get value weight blah blah blah. So we can say, now we can just say P1 is greater than P2, and if P1 is greater than P2, then we know player 1 won, and we can say, I think I might want, let me think just for a second. Do we have it in here? We're going to want to display the results, but we don't have that function yet. So I think what we're going to do is we'll just say display display, or sults, and call it that. And then we're going to create another one that will reward the winner, reward the winner, something like that. But this one we're going to pass, for now what we're going to pass is we're actually going to pass 2 integers. The one will be, basically it's going to look at it as a Boolean. So if it's a 1, it's true. If it's a 0, it's false. So this is saying this will be player 1 on the other end. This will be player 2. Like I said, I don't know if this is the best way to do it. So then we also want to check if, let's go ahead and say else if, Control C, ELSSE, else if, do that. Now the reason we're doing this as an else if is because there will be a third condition, whether it's a tie. And even the tie, just for error, just for debugging and making sure that, you know, if for some reason some other type of value gets in here, we'll have an error as the final else. So this is going to do the exact same thing, except for we will set that to 0 and that to 1. ELSE, else if, oops, control not F, control V, there we go, whoops, that's the wrong one, control Z. I was thinking I had this in my queue, my clipboard. Alright, V, and this will be equals equals, meaning that we have a tie and a war needs to happen. And that's going to be a little bit different, because what we're going to have to do is recall, we're going to basically recursively call check cards, but this time it will have the value in it to actually have it check the next card, or the value of the card we want. So let's see, so we're going to want to maybe say oh, we should have some value in here. So display results, if we pass it a 0, it should say that player 1 won. If it's a 1, player 2 won. That way we can even use this as the element that we want. And then maybe we pass it like a 3 if it's a tie. My heavens, I grabbed the wrong thing. Wait, where'd it go? Reward winner. Wait, Control Z. Did I? Control C. I think I pasted it instead of copied it. V. There. So this is going to be 0. And then let's go ahead and do this and say C. And then a V here. So this will be 3. This will be if it's a tie. So it'll get a 0, 1, or a 3. We could have done 2, I guess. I don't know why I did 3. I guess we could do 2. 0, 1, and 2. It just seems a little confusing. And then, like I said, what we're going to do is this is going to call itself, so it's going to call check cards. But it's going to call it, but first, check cards. Before we call it, let me just think for a second. We're gonna want to let's increment our card pointer to be +2, so it goes down 2 cards. So that's where we're gonna point. So play player dot card pointer equals, or actually plus equals, and 2. So that will increment our card pointer, and then we want to pass players.cardPointer, right? Player.cardPointer into this guy. So it'll increment our card pointer, then it will go ahead and what's going on here? Method check cards. Oh, actually, no. We're fine. We don't even need to do that. We're just passing it regular, but see, card pointer is going to be incremented, so it'll actually do it here. So we're good. All right, so we need display results. We're at 21 minutes. So let's just think really quick what we want for display results. Let's go ahead and create a display results and a reward winner. And what we're going to do, instead of this being, because I want it to be able to do this intelligently with as little things. I'll show you what I'm thinking, if I'm thinking right. So there's our check cards. Let's go ahead and come down a couple. So we're going to do display results. This is going to be private. And do we need to return anything? No, I don't think so. Void, display-results. So here's our display results. We are receiving a value, the winner. So int winner, and there we go. So this will help us just know who actually won. And since this is all console, we could actually just have it do an S out. It's kind of better to do just pass a string back. I don't know. Well, I'll think about it. I kind of just want to get this guy done so we can actually start our next one. And then I think maybe we'll do one or so more of these console games that are just console things. And then we're going to actually do one that I'm kind of excited. We're going to start getting into GUI stuff. So we're going to get into actual graphics. Reward winner. And I think we're going to say maybe, instead of say player 1, player 2, we're going to say the source and destination. SRC. So what the source is, because that way it can be player 1 or player 2, like that. And int DST. I'm going to do destination DST. And that should do that. And do, I think this one, nope, we're not going to return anything. Wait, what are we? Reward. WINNER. Whoops. I guess I have to spell right. Winner. Okay. So I think this is a good stopping point for now. We're at 24 minutes. Yeah, we're at 24 minutes, so I think this is a good enough stopping point, 25 minutes. And in the next episode, we'll go ahead and do our display results and our display winner, or reward our winner. And maybe then we'll try and give it a run, see if it runs, or see what else we need to do. But I think that's pretty good for now. We've now got it. Oh yeah, that's for that guy. I was like, why is this SC up here yellow? Yeah, we've got it pretty much underway, I think. So if we hit save, we don't have any reds. We do have some warnings because there's things we aren't using currently because it's down in here. And there's our SC right there. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. You can find all the information for my other channels and the Discord in the video description. And that's it. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.